baptized in my name? If you were baptized in my name, then you're not saved. You're a Paulite, and nowhere in the Bible does anybody told they need to be a Paulite. But that would be what's necessary if you're going to be of Paul. Same thing holds true, obviously, if you're talking about to be of Christ. If you're going to be of Christ, then that means Christ has to be crucified for you, and it means you have to be baptized in the name of Christ. You've got to be baptized by His authority. And if those things are non-existent in your life, then you're not saved. If you want to be of Christ, if you want to belong to Christ, if you want to truly use the term Christian to describe who you are, but Christ is not being crucified for you and you've not been baptized in the name of Christ, then you're not saved. You don't enjoy those spiritual blessings. And a little bitty side trip here on works. We've pointed out that most people refuse in the denominational world to even look at James chapter 2. And that's not a new problem. It goes all the way back at least to Martin Luther. Martin Luther, when he came to James chapter 2, and keep in mind that Martin Luther was rebelling against the atrocities of Roman Catholicism and thinking he could change the Roman Catholic Church into something good that would follow the Bible more than it was then. And when he got to and so he went from what the Roman Catholic Church taught relative to works that you had to perform, various things that you could do to ensure your greater spiritual status. You know, that's why you cross yourself, all that stuff, you know, and you count beads and you say, Mother, may I, or whatever. All these different things you do. You go to the various pictures of the stations of the cross. You go and observe that. And if you do all those things, culminating with, if you prepay for sin you're going to commit this weekend in the sale of indulgences, that was what he's rebelling against. And he was pointing out that man is not saved by those meritorious works. You're saved by faith. But he put the word only after faith. And that's why he looked at the book of James and said, that is a right strawy epistle, or it's an epistle of straw. It's not worth the paper that it's written on, in essence. Because James says that faith without works is dead. And Martin Luther didn't like that. And our denominational friends don't like that. But the problem with this no works business is that you can't have believing. Faith can't be essential because in John chapter 6, verse 28, 29, faith is referred to as a work. What shall we do that we may work the works of God? Jesus says, this is the work of God, that you believe on him who he has sent. Faith is a work. So, whoa, wait a minute. We got to have faith. Why? Faith sits in the exact same category as does water baptism. It's a thing required. It's a commandment that God gives. So if people are going to say, oh, no works, then you've done kicked faith out too. Are you willing to do that? Consistency is an amazing thing. And you wouldn't have any repentance either. Because there you have the example in the book of Jonah of individuals who repented at the preaching of Jonah, and they were kept from being destroyed for 100 years. There were 120,000 children, I think the references to, that didn't know the right hand from the left hand. Well, they may have been teenagers too, but most time you're talking about kids, but 120,000 that didn't know the right hand from the left hand, but they repented. And repentance is referred to, God saw the work that they did. What did they do? They repented. Well, was they earning their salvation by repenting? Absolutely not. Because repentance was in the same position as water baptism, as far as confession is, and as far as faith is. They're works that God requires of us. And it's this. Matthew chapter 7, verse 21, beginning. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. We have a map that's designed to lead us to heaven. Enlightenment is available. Who is willing to follow the directions? And there's me. I never have got to the end yet. But I keep on hunting, and it is 11:30 right now.